Hello and welcome to another motorcycle feature. So right in front of you is the 2025 Yamaha Mio Fazzio. So it's a very perfect new retro classic motorcycle that is perfect for the streets, for the road, and maybe for touring. So yeah, let's check it out. Okay, so let's have a quick look around at the bike. So you have a passing light here, you have your turn signals, you have your horn, I'm not gonna press it yet, and you have here your automatic switch. So what it does is when you're static at a road or at a traffic light, the engine will stop. And then you can see here on the screen that it's flashing because once you pull on the throttle, it will start again. Okay, next up is you have a hazard switch. I will talk about the lights later on. And then you have your starter here. So for this switch here, you can lock the steering by pressing on the key and then locking it. And then once you're not locked, you can access the back seat just by rotating to the left there. Now the seat doesn't have hydraulics or anything, so you need to lift it up manually. So something I would like to point out, this is not really used in other reviews, but I would like to do it anyway. The storage is 17 inches. That's for the top part. And then the lowest height is 7 inches. And then the height here is 7 inches as well. Also, talking about storage, this won't fit here. I know this is meant for putting bottles and stuff, but it doesn't fit. So you can see here 2 pegs. This is actually for helmets when you're not going to use them, because generally for the size of the storage, it's not gonna fit the usual helmets or standard helmets. Even for half-face helmets, it's quite limited. The function of this design is for overflow of gas. You can see that there's actually a hole over here. That's where your excess fuel will drop off. And then actually this is convenient because this is removable. You can just place it here whenever you're topping up your fuel. And then this is your storage for your ECU for your Yamaha app. And then you can see the chassis number here easily. So you have here your grab rail. This is made out of steel, which is nice. The rest of the body is made out of plastic. And then going here in the front, let's talk about the LED or the lights. So for the headlights, this is already LED. But for your turn signals, this is halogen. This is bulb, you can see here. The glass is clear, but the bulb is tinted orange. And then for the tail light, I believe this is also halogen, not LED. Okay, so your battery is stored here. So be mindful when going through floods and other areas where there's a lot of water. So for your braking, it doesn't have ABS. So it's disc brake at the front, drum brake at the rear. And then there's here, you can see where the dipstick for your oil. So you can check your oil levels. And then this is air-cooled. Okay, so for its tires, it has maxes. Its size is 110 by 70. It is 12 inches. I apologize, it's very dirty. It's also maxes 110 by 70 and 12. Also, it's the same size. Okay, so for the display, so what you have here is your speedometer. You have here the assist function. So this is the assist function. I will show it to you later on. And then you have here some data. Let me cycle through. So you have your trip meter, you have your time, you have your battery voltage, which is convenient. You have your odometer reading, and then going back to trip meter. So I believe there's only one trip meter for this bike. And then below, you have your fuel indicator. Okay, so the function of this, it's nicely done. It's for either left-handed or right-handed people because it's placed on the center. So if you're left-handed, you can just press on this easily. Okay, so let's just go back to trip meter. For utility, you have carabiner hook here, and there's another one here. Okay, so another functional feature here is the handbrake. So I will talk about this later on as well. And then something new to the 2025 model as well is the side mirror. I think this is unique to the Fazzio, but we'll check it out later on. Okay, so for the mirrors, you can actually see a lot, minimal warping at the edges, but you won't be able to actually notice it when you're riding. So from the previous models, this was a 12-volt socket. Now they've applied, I can't see, you won't be able to see it, but there's a type A USB port there. So there's a groove there. I think your phone will fit. So that's a iPhone 14 Pro. Yeah, fits really good, but it's already on the end of the port. And then at the end of it, there is a hole in case that water gets on it. So there's a drainage there as well. Okay, so ride height check. My height is 5'6" with a 30-inch inseam, and this is what it looks like on the Yamaha Philippines Mio. So it's one of the lowest motorcycles that you can get in the market today. The seat height is only 760 something. I'll just correct it here. And then as you can see, I can flat foot on both ends, and then there's enough padding on the seats, enough cushioning. You can do this, you can move back more, so you have more better steering position. And then the thing is, if you're very close to the steering wheel, a lot of input is going to affect your handling, so it's better to move back when riding this motorcycle. So yeah. Here's a new thing as well. I'm now using a action camera again, which is kind of convenient. I'm now using the DJI Action 5, and this is new to the episode. This is where the Action 5 is first used, so hopefully it turns out good. So anyway, hello and welcome to the ride review of the Yamaha Mio Fazzio. And first things first, let's fuel up. So you can see that there's a drain over here, and what's convenient is because this is removable, you can just place it on the side. And then you can see here that there's a directional arrow that you just need to point to this to ensure that it's already locked. Okay, so first off, I would like to tackle already is the weight of the motorcycle. So the weight of the motorcycle is very light, and it is both a pro and a con. So first off, it is a pro because for a bike that is built for utility and for city riding, of course it's good. But if you're going to use this for touring, you need to mind that the weight is a factor for stability. So here we are trying to reach higher speeds. So we're now at 80. So far so good, the bike still feels stable, but I can already feel that the wind is trying to hold it back. 96, and we're running out of road, and there you go. That's pretty much what the Fazzio can do without altering the throttle, just doing a very linear input to it. And for the braking, this doesn't have ABS, so you need to be mindful, but in terms of balance of the power compared to the braking, I think it's balanced. So one of the features of the Yamaha that really stands out for me, which is a basic utility actually, is the handbrake you see right here. And that is convenient as well if you need something very quick and you're in a uphill. Because one of the struggles for me when riding my Vespa is it doesn't have that handbrake feature, which is very basic, I can say. Kind of annoying when your bike is moving forward or back, just try to reach for something that you need. And that's why I really appreciate this handbrake, which is a very basic feature but sure is a lot useful. So you can see here there's also an eco indicator, so it's a really good function as well, that you can say that you're riding optimally. You can agree with this or disagree with this because I haven't tried it personally. So if you're encountering a very steep road, what you need to do is just pull on the throttle really lightly and just keep at it. Don't pull at it really hard. Just make sure that the RPM is low, and then you will have sufficient power even though you're just riding the scooter at a very steep hill. So you can agree with or disagree with that, but I think it's a good information to share, especially we're reviewing an automatic motorcycle. Okay, just an additional info, this is the Blue Core Hybrid, so it provides some assistance for the engine. It is a hybrid, so when at a full stop, you will see that there's something that's rotating, and that's the indicator that the Blue Core is functioning and providing a better power, yet preserving the fuel economy of this motorcycle. The visibility of the side mirrors, so what I've noticed, it's really near, like already behind the levers or the grips, so that's why it's kind of limited. Maybe if it's somewhere forwarded, visibility for the side mirror will be better. And also I've noticed if you're riding in low light or in the night, the LED headlight is not sufficient, so maybe upgrading the headlight or getting a auxiliary light is a big thing for the Fazzio, because yeah, I don't really see anything with the LED. It's really limited. Okay, for overtaking power, you're going to need to exert a lot more effort to surpass other vehicles. So for the tires, it has maxes. It's 110 by 70, and then it's 12 inches for front and the rear. So I was able to ride it in the rain. It was good. I don't know about the compounds of it. Yeah, I can say it's just fair, which is good for a stock tire. It's quite a shame that the weather is like this, so I was not actually able to ride a lot this week. I had this for over a week, so I think it's good. I'm really happy riding this for the CTs. For what it is, it's actually a fun motorcycle to use. It's really narrow, it's really light. The fuel efficiency, I can say, because this is a hybrid engine, even though it has only 4 liters of fuel capacity, the amount of fuel that this consumes is already really low. I really enjoyed it, but a little bit of things is, just for me, there should be an option to not have the Y Connect app of Yamaha. Instead, have an ABS version instead. Even just for the front, having an ABS is a lot more reasonable for me, because it's going to contribute to the safety more compared to like using an app that's I'm going to barely use or just going to use once in a while. It's just a really good nimble bike to use around the city. I like it. Yeah, overall the Fazzio is a really good motorcycle. It's very functional. It has lots of utility functions, as you can see. For what the Fazzio is worth, the amount of style, this is subjective, but for the amount of style, I think I like it. For the amount of price, it can be lower, in my opinion. The stable, for what it can do, I can say, still stable. The brakes, just enough for the amount of power that it provides. But again, going to the suspension, that's what I'm going to change, because when I was riding this a little bit longer, I felt a little bit of pain on my back because of the suspension at the back. So maybe changing the suspension, and then the other Fazzio owners had their front suspension repacked or added some suspension fluid to correct what is happening. So for the design of the Fazzio, I think even if you're a big guy, you can feel it doesn't feel so cramped. When you're out of the bike, you look at it as really tiny or really small, but once you're riding, it doesn't feel like that way. Maybe because of the huge chunks of spaces in the overall design of the bike. And even the footboard, as you can see here, there's a lot of space. I don't need to put my toes outward. The amount of space is just right. The sitting position is also good, but I would like to change the suspension again. So maybe that's just the change I really want to do with the Fazzio. So that's it for the ride review of the Yamaha Fazzio 125. Thank you so much for watching. So if you like the video, please feel free to like it and subscribe to the channel as well. And then if you have any questions for the Yamaha Fazzio, I'm open to answering those. So yeah, maybe I'll go home. It's raining really hard.